Hi, I'm Don Goldberg for TechView, and we're back again at Cisco in Herndon, Virginia, with Bruce Klein, Senior Vice President for Public Policy and Public Sector for Cisco. And Bruce, thanks for being here. Smart Connected Communities.
Yes.
We've been hearing about this, a big initiative for Cisco. Tell us what it's all about.
It's a very big initiative for us, and we see, because the network here really becomes the platform to make Smart Connected Communities a reality. What we're seeing is that cities, states, even on the federal government side, as they look at the network as a utility, really becoming the fourth utility, the promise of what you can build out in these various domains that I'll talk about, and we talk about Smart Connected Communities in different tracks. Smart education or intelligent education, 21st century education, public safety, energy, some of the work we're doing with smart grid, as well as smart buildings, hospitals and healthcare is part of Smart Connected Communities, government services is part of Smart Connected Communities, and if you look at all of those services being part of a city, being part of a state, being part of the federal government, how do we connect those services to deliver services to the citizen? And that's what Smart Connected Communities is about. The network becomes the fourth utility. And out of that, what you get is this really creates economic, social, and environmental sustainability. And we look at creating jobs based on this approach. We look at creating new services socially and connecting people. And we look at environment and thinking about, in a city, 20 mega cities in this world use 75% of the world's energy. That's a major problem. We've got to solve, we've got to be more energy efficient. So that's another area of Smart Connected Communities.
So I mean, politicians can debate what to do about global warming, but in the meantime, with smart grid and smart buildings, you can do a lot to start saving energy.
Absolutely, absolutely. We did a project at the state of Missouri where we connected upwards of 1,000 buildings with this smart building concept, and within the first year they saved 20% on the utility bills. So, and then immediately paid for setting up that type of environment. There's great promise in that sort of technology in smart buildings. Smart grid, we got pilots going right now in Miami with Florida Power and Light. So things are starting, and we're going to see a lot more of that in the coming years.
Now, I know you've done a lot of this overseas as well. Any great examples there that we could take a look at and talk about?
Yeah, with Smart Connected, we're building an intelligent city in Korea, in Incheon, and working with a developer, because it's also kind of a new concept where you're working with developers. This was a developer named Gail out of New York who's building this city, and they're going to be building the technology into the city where, if you think about it, we have high-end video conferencing technology that will be built into someone's condominium or apartment. And out of that, that becomes their TV, that becomes their phone, video phone, and that becomes their access to all these government services. Where if you think about what your iPod looks like today with all these different applets on it, think about your TV with all those applets on it. But if you want to sign up to have your child tutored by somebody, an expert, could be anywhere, you click a button and now you can sign up to have them tutored for X cost. That cost goes back to the city, and they generate revenue out of it, and a service is supplied to that citizen. Your driver's license, all these different applets can be built and delivered right into the home.
Well, so rather than having to retrofit an existing city, when you get in on the ground floor and you can wire it, then you're all set for the future.
Exactly.
And so with education or transportation or whatever else, you can do that. So you're talking about essentially, like you said, making your city into an iPhone almost, or an iPhone app, not to...
Right, it's a way, it becomes, the network becomes a service delivery mechanism to provide services that we typically don't get today. That's where we're going to see the second generation internet playing the biggest role.
And so where are we going to see in the U.S.? Who's looking to start doing this? You talked about Missouri. There are other
There's a number of pilots. Some of them we can't talk about today, but I'll just give you for instance, in one state that we're looking at, and they're looking at training nurses in rural areas. Typically, those nurses would come to a major university. They would get trained, they'd get their degree, and they would stay in a big city because they didn't want to move back to the rural areas. We're using this type of collaboration technology to train them where they're at in those rural areas with public and private partnerships, so they have jobs with the local healthcare facilities right in that area, and now you have trained professionals and you're able to deliver rural healthcare by using the collaboration technology to keep them there. That's just an example of things that we're doing.
Great. Well, this sounds interesting. We look forward to seeing how that develops.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
Don.
Don Goldberg for TechView.